In the last episode, I told you that I would tell you something about the sociology of law and will try to make relationship between sociology and law. Today, I am going to discuss about it. As I told you in the episode 1 that each and every society is consisting of norms, values, ideology, morality and laws. And as a human being, we have to acquire these. And the acquiring process is called socialization. Thus, we become socialized. It means we are able to live in a society governed by the norms values of the society. We have to adapt with the norms values of the society. And I also told you about society. Individuals are there, they are related, they should have interactions, and their behavior should be regulated by norms, values, ideology, morality of the society. Before the emergence of the society or social system, before the emergence of the law, state, family, and other social institutions, people were living in a clan or in a tribe or in a group. They had to maintain some relations. So how could their behavior were organized and regulated? Norms were there, values were there, beliefs were there. These were the prime forces in regulating the behavior of the individuals before the emergence of society. So we can find it out that in the primitive society or ancient society, when we could not able to produce foods, goods and services for us, then society was basically based on food gathering. It means in the animal kingdoms, in the animal kingdom, all of the all of the animals are food gatherer. They gather their food from nature. They gather food from nature. The animals, they might eat each other, or particularly deers and the herbivores, they receive or they gather food. It means spinach or leaves of the trees or any kinds of fruits from the nature. They did not have any ability to produce foods and other goods and services. So they could not able to produce society. Man could able to produce society. They could bind themselves into society, particularly after the inventions of the fire. They could able to use fire. Using fire, they could able to make hammer. They could able to make boomerang, spear gun, etc. and even plow. And they could able to domesticate beasts. So they could able to settle on the banks of the rivers. As as we can say the Nile civilization on the bank of that river Nile. Civilization started on the banks of the rivers. This way, man for the first time became civilized or social. And after that, they had to adapt with the social system, social institutions, and social norms and values and ideology. But when we could able to, our ancestors could able to bind themselves in a society, the mode of behavior of the individuals to be regulated. Norms, values, ideology, morality, or even religion were not enough to regulate the mode of behavior of the individuals because social institutions came into being. So people's interactions came into a complex situation. To maintain these, norms were not enough, values were not enough. Peoples or individuals might have the trend to violate it. So there should be some sort of written or unwritten code which can be enforced so that people are bound to obey it or abide by it. Laws thus came into being. When society came into being, family came into being, I would like to cite an example. When civilization came into being, some peoples became rich men, some people became farmers. So the rich men, they know that after their death or a rich man's death, who will inherit his property? Only if there would have a society, we can go for the handing over of the property to our inheritors. So to create an inheritors, family came into being. So we have to create family following a law. There should have law. Without following law, you cannot create a family. So a law came into being. At the same time, to make a family, there should have some rites and rituals. In Bangladesh society or Bengali society, we see Gaye Hulud or many other rites and rituals are observed before the wedding ceremony. And thus, one after one, institutions came into being and rites and rituals were also there. Thus, society is becoming complex and complex, more complex and more complex. As long as society is advancing, it means the institutions are adding, institutions are being added in our society. At the same time, new rights and rituals are also added. So these way, to regulate the society, you require to have law. It can be enforced. If a person violate norms and values, his behavior might be treated as deviant behavior, as we told you in the episode 1. But the society has become very complex, right? Has to be, everybody has to obey, everybody has to abide by the law. Because if you do not abide by law, the integrity of the society will just be broken. If the integrity of the society is broken, society cannot get progress. To maintain the progress, to maintain the peaceful situation of the society, to maintain the tranquil situation of the society, laws came into being. And thus, law is one of the prime force in regulating human behavior. So, society in relation to social change, in relation to social progress, in relation to social development, law is being determined. Law has some sort of impact on social system. At the same time, social system does have impact on the social laws. So in course of social change, society demands new relationship, society demands new laws, and thus laws are being enacted in our society. So from the very beginning of society, we have been seeing that so many laws, one after one after one, came into being to maintain the social order. Now, I would like to cite some examples. Think about the slave society. You have heard about slave society. What is slave society? The relationship between slave masters and slaves. There were slaves, there was also slave masters. Slaves are the private property of the slave masters. If the slave masters decided to kill his property, it means the slaves, he could able to do that. At that time, law permitted them to do so. This was the slave society. Can we think this sort of happenings right now? Impossible. Why? Because society has been changed. Now we speak about democracy, human rights. We speak about equality. That is why right now the we cannot practice that sorts of practice that occurred in the slave society. So society at that time, particularly Greek civilizations and the Roman civilization based on slave society, if you go through the laws of that society, you will find that the slaves did not have any human rights. They were treated as private property. They would they could be killed. They didn't have rights to go for justice. And they were deprived, they were exploited. Their family members are tortured. If you watch the the films or novels written taking the content from those civilizations or slave societies, you will find so many things that relates with that social system. And laws admitted them. You know, in the Roman civilization, nobles are there and the commoners. The commoners didn't have any rights. The rights were given by the law. How laws were prepared or enacted? In fact, enactment was not there. The king, the nobles, they prepared, they constructed the law to serve their interest, not to serve the interest of the slaves. As I think you have come to know that one of the renowned playwriter, Sophocles of that time of Greek society, King Oedipus, he wrote a play, King Oedipus. One of the king named Oedipus, one of the fortune teller predicted that he would be killed by his son and he will be defeated in a battle. His son will overthrow King Oedipus and take over the power of the kingdom, and he would marry his wife. It means his mother. That was the prophecy by a fortune teller. King Oedipus tried to escape from his fate. He tried to kill his newborn baby, but could not able to do that. His baby was grown up in a neighboring country, and he became the chief of army staff. He invaded the neighboring country. It means his father's regime, defeated his father and married to his wife, it means his mother. When he came to know, he made himself blind. What is the message of this play? We know that the message is nothing. Our fate is predetermined. Every individual's fate is predetermined. If you can try, if you can try to escape from your fate, but you will not be able to escape from your fate. Why? Because fate is predetermined by God. That's why. That's the message, and that's the message of the slave society. Because Greek society is based on slave society. The slave masters usually try to let the slaves understand that your fate is being determined by God. You may try to escape from your fate, but you will not be able to do that. Not only that, in the medieval age, we know that there was a belief king is the state was created by God. King is the representative of God. Whatever the king does, he does everything taking the instruction from God. So if you go against the activities of the king, it means you are going uh, against the instruction of God. So at the time you are committing sin, and for committing sin you will be punished. So the state was created by God. That was the ideology. That was the belief of the commoners. As long as the commoners continued to believe it, slave society, feudal society remains unchanged. Remains unchanged. So society at that time, in the feudal society or in the slave society, the play was written to give the message of the society. That was the message of the society. And the laws were prepared or constructed by the nobles. In the kingdom, the laws were given by the monarch, because monarch was the monarch was exercising absolute power. Even the monarch could appoint the justice and other peoples who might help the kingdom. So this was the system, and to maintain this system, the laws, in fact, in the monarchy, the laws were given by the monarch. But when feudalism has been replaced by capitalism, it means the political institutions was also replaced by new political institutions, that is democracy. In Europe, when market economy came into being, in relation to that, we see that democracy came into being also as a political institution. The parliament was created. They are allowed to enact laws for the country, for the peoples. The serf of the feudal society, their future was bound with the land. They had no ability to escape from the land. They had to serve their masters. It means landlords. But when capital came into being, they became free laborer. No more they are slave of the land. And the state created by God, the beliefs was gone. Why? Because society has been changed. In relation to that, new laws were enacted by the parliament. Human rights, democracy, universal suffrage, consumerism, market economy, socialism, whatever you say, we say all these are the outcome of the capitalistic society. If there would have not emergence of capitalism, there would have no existence of this sort of So law has no existence in no independent existence. Law has no independent existence. It should always remain with the social system. When social system proceeds, when social system advances, then laws are to be laws are instructed to meet the demand of that new social system, social order. The Pakistani rules and regulations are not applicable to Bangladesh society because we are new nation. We have new independent states. We have the constitution, the supreme law. Why we got a supreme law, Bangladeshi constitutions? We have enacted four principles and we are trying to achieve that: democracy, socialism, nationalism, and secularism. So these are different from other countries. Why? Our social system, our culture demanded to enact these four principles to be achieved by the peoples who have been residing here, who are the citizens of this land. So, social system and its changes always do have impact on laws. The last one I would like to uh, say before you, I told you about the Permanent Settlement Act of 1793. The British came here, they defeated us, they took over the state machinery system, they colonized us. To make appropriation absolute, they enacted a law, the Permanent Settlement Act of 1793. Why? Because we did not have any ownership on land. To to uh, to uh, uh, to to transfer the resources and to make confirmation of the revenue collection, the Permanent Settlement Act was enacted. Not only that, to create a brown or black people, the black complexion of the Indian peoples uh, do have black complexion or brown complexion. They are Indians, they are Bengalis. To control over the whole of India or Bengal, the one of the classes to be created who in terms of complexion might be Indians, but in thought level they will become the Europeans. And that's why the Jamindari system was created by 1793 Permanent Settlement Act. Neo Babu culture, you know it very well. Babu people who were residing in Kolkata, then Calcutta, and their siblings, their offspring were becoming doctors, engineers, teachers, and many other. They could able to engage themselves in many other professions. They belong to middle class. Before the enactment of Permanent Settlement Act, there was no existence of middle class. So the very middle class emerged due to the enactment of the Permanent Settlement Act, and that was done by the British for their sake to keep their interest. That's why they enacted this law. So, in course of social change, they did it. They enacted this law, and due to this law, we have we, we have seen that one classes was created in Kolkata, the Babu, the middle class. From this class, we have seen Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, Ishwar Chandra Bindasagar, Rabindranath Tagore, Raja Ram Mohan Rai, and others. Ishwar Chandra Bindasagar, he could say that Ishwar Chandra Bindasagar and Raja Ram Mohan Rai, they could able to make a reformation movement. The the voters did not have any rights to go for second marriage. These peoples who are belonging to the middle class initiated a movement which is historically termed as Bengal Renaissance. Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, before his writings, there was no Bengali prose. He initiated it following the English prose. So that was the impact of the British, not only British, that was the impact of the enactment of the Permanent Settlement Act of 1793. So law has some sort of impact on society. The Indian society for the first time from Asiatic mode of production or Indian feudalism that could move, that could progress to capitalism. Why? Because of the 1793 Permanent Settlement Act. Not only that, not only that, this Permanent Settlement Act in India, later all the events, all the political situations were the remote or indirect impact of the enactment of the Permanent Settlement Act. So law and society go hand by hands. Law is enacted, prepared, or declared, whatever you say, or heralded, whatever you say, to meet the demand of the society. These are enacted. And at the same time, when society gets progress, it demands the enactment of the new laws, and laws thus usually come into being. These ways, society is progressing. So basically, as I told in the episode 1, once upon a time, Aristotle said, society man is a political animal. Later, economists said man is an economic animal. We, the sociologist, said man is a cultural animal. Now the lawyers say man is a law-bound animal. That's all.